In the opening scene, we meet a man named Hambord cleaning his attic, where he notices a beautiful woman, Annabelle, sparking his desire to introduce himself. They start getting to know each other, grow close, and eventually fall in love. However, their happiness is short-lived, as Annabelle tragically dies due to a toxic infection. Fast forward 26 years later, Hambord, now a professor, moves to New England for work and ends up staying in a rental owned by a widowed woman named Charlotte. Despite initially being uninterested in the house, Hambord decides to rent it after seeing Charlotte's beautiful daughter, Lolita. He becomes enamored with Lolita and starts writing about his admiration for her in his diary, reminiscent of his past with Annabelle. Over time, Hambord and Lolita develop a close bond, but Charlotte notices Hambord's affection for her daughter and decides to send Lolita to a boarding school. Before leaving, Lolita embraces Hambord passionately, revealing her feelings for him. Meanwhile, Charlotte also harbors feelings for Hambord. After Lolita leaves, Charlotte expresses her admiration for Hambord through a letter, leading to their marriage. However, after 6 weeks of marriage, Hambord has yet to consummate their relationship, constantly giving Charlotte sleeping pills instead. Eventually, Charlotte discovers Hambord's true feelings for Lolita through his diary and leaves him. Shortly after, Hambord finds Charlotte dead after being hit by a car. In summary, the tale commences with Humbert promptly visiting Lolita and retrieving her from the dormitory. Upon her inquiry about her mother's whereabouts, Humbert fabricates, indicating she's recuperating at home from an ailment. Humbert's concealed longing for Lolita, reciprocated by her, eventually finds expression in their shared moments inside the car, which leads to their decision to lodge at a nearby hotel. Subsequently, during dinner, Humbert advises Lolita to retire early, citing a need for some fresh air. Despite the hotel owner's invitation to dine together, Humbert declines, uninterested in his company. The following day, as they travel, Lolita once again raises the question about her mother, prompting Humbert to divulge the truth, causing her considerable distress. The narrative unfolds further as Humbert enrolls Lolita in a local school, endeavoring to fulfill the roles of both father and mother figure. During one excursion, Humbert becomes aware of a persistent car trailing them. With quick thinking, Lolita jots down the license plate number, although the driver continually switches vehicles to evade detection. At a stop, Humbert intervenes when he observes Lolita conversing with a stranger, cautioning her against such interactions. Later, when their car experiences a tire blowout, they reluctantly seek assistance from the individual who had been tailing them. However, strangely, the car instead reversed away from Humbert, who sought help from it. Fortunately, Humbert had a spare tire, allowing them to resume their journey. Amidst their travels, Humbert asked Lolita to show him the license plate of the pursuer, but she had replaced the note, angering Humbert instantly. Afterward, they decided to rest, and Humbert went to find food. Upon his return, he noticed Lolita's lipstick was smudged, sparking his suspicion that someone might have been with her. When questioned, Lolita denied it, further fueling Humbert's anger. However, in his anger, he slipped on a banana peel, turning the situation comical. Long story short, that night they moved to another lodging, but seeing Lolita pale, Humbert rushed her to the hospital, where she had to stay for treatment. While Humbert was out, he received a call from the hospital informing him that Lolita had been taken from the hospital by a man claiming to be her uncle. The hospital staff also provided a description of the man, mentioning he had a dog with him. Upon learning this, Humbert appeared panicked and rushed to the hospital. However, upon his arrival, Lolita was no longer there. Humbert then tried searching for Lolita in several accommodations in the area, but to no avail. Several months passed, and despite his relentless efforts, Humbert failed to locate Lolita. Eventually, he grew despondent and decided to return to his hometown without her. Fast forward 3 years later, Humbert received a letter from Lolita informing him that she was now married and expecting a child soon. In the letter, Lolita requested financial assistance from Humbert due to her and her family's difficult circumstances. Without hesitation, Humbert visited the address provided by Lolita and finally found her heavily pregnant. Lolita then recounted to him what had happened at the hospital. She was picked up by someone named Quill, who offered her a job as a pornographic actress. When Lolita refused, Quill left her stranded on the road. Fortunately, Lolita was rescued by a man who later became her husband. Humbert then tried to persuade Lolita to live with him again, but she refused. Consequently, Humbert could only provide financial support for their stepchild. He then declared his intention to seek out and kill the man named Quill. After locating Quill's address, Humbert attempted to execute his plan. Following a dramatic confrontation, Humbert managed to shoot Quill, resulting in Quill's demise. However, Humbert was subsequently apprehended by the authorities and imprisoned. He eventually passed away in prison due to a heart attack on November 16, 1950. Meanwhile, on December 25, 1950, after giving birth, Lolita also passed away. Thus, the story comes to an end.